If you want to change your life, start by changing your conversation with yourself. Most people don't realize that the most influential voice in their life is not their parents, not their spouse, not their mentor, it's their own. The words you speak to yourself on a daily basis will either imprison you or propel you. You don't need another seminar. You don't need another breakthrough. You need to become the breakthrough. And that begins with what you say when no one's listening but you. Let me ask you this. For the next 21 days, what would happen if you start talking to yourself like your future depended on it? Because it does. What would happen if you started speaking to yourself like you're already wealthy, already wise, already walking in divine purpose? You don't need to see it to say it. You need to say it until you see it. Everything in your life follows your language. If you keep telling yourself, I'm tired, I'm broke, I'm not enough, don't be surprised when your life echoes that script. But if you begin declaring, I am strong, I am focused, I am called, I am equipped, I walk in favor, I operate in overflow, watch how everything starts to shift. You are not lying to yourself, you're leading yourself. There's a difference. God framed the world with his words. You frame your world with yours. Your mouth is not just for communication, it's for creation. When you speak, you're not just expressing thoughts, you're authoring outcomes. That's why negative self-talk is not just destructive, it's dangerous. You can't afford to curse what God is trying to bless. You can't afford to speak death over what's still developing. Do this for 21 days. Every morning, look in the mirror and speak to yourself with authority, not passively, not politely, with power. Tell yourself who you are becoming. Tell yourself what you expect. Tell yourself what you refuse to tolerate. Don't wait until you feel like it. Speak it until your soul catches up. Emotion is a follower, not a leader, and language leads. Some people say, I don't want to be fake, but there's nothing fake about speaking your future into existence. That's not fake, that's faith. You're not lying when you say, I'm disciplined, even if you've been inconsistent. You're declaring a new direction. You're telling your old self, your time is up. That's not delusion, that's decision. And yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Growth always does. The first few days, your brain will resist. Your body will resist. Your circumstances will scream, you're lying, but you're not lying. You're reprogramming. You're not ignoring reality, you're upgrading it. You're stepping out of agreement with limitation and stepping into alignment with abundance. You've got 21 days to lay a new foundation. Don't waste one of them. Build it with intention. Don't just recite empty affirmations. Speak truth with conviction. Say it like your destiny is listening, because it is. Say it like the next level depends on it, because it does. Talk to yourself like someone who's done playing small. Talk to yourself like a champion sharpening a sword. Talk to yourself like your children will inherit the fruit of every word you plant. Because here's the truth. If you talk to yourself like this for 21 days, you won't recognize yourself on day 22. You won't walk the same. You won't think the same. You won't tolerate the same. You'll step into rooms differently. You'll carry yourself with clarity. You'll operate with authority. Why? Because you spoke it until you became it. So don't wait for someone to rescue you. Don't wait for motivation to show up. Get in front of a mirror and say, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is where I'm going. And then do it again tomorrow and again the next day. Do it until your voice sounds like truth and your actions match your words. Talk to yourself like this for 21 days and watch your life transform from the inside out. You are the narrator of your future. Speak accordingly. Words create worlds. That's not just a clever phrase. It's a law. Everything that exists in your life right now was first spoken somewhere by someone, even if it was just in your own mind. You spoke it long before you ever touched it. You declared it long before you ever lived it. Your words are not passive. They're prophetic. You don't describe your life with your words, you design your life with them. When you open your mouth, you're not just reporting the news, you're writing the headlines. Think about it. Before God formed anything, he spoke, let there be light. He didn't need tools, he didn't need assistance, he used words. And you are made in his image, which means your words carry that same creative DNA. When you say, I can't, you just built a wall. When you say, I will, you just opened a door. Every time you speak, you are either building a world of faith or a prison of fear. Most people underestimate the power of what comes out of their mouth. They say things like, I'm always broke, nothing ever works out for me, or I'm not good at that. And then they live in a reality that mirrors exactly what they declared. That's not coincidence. That's construction. You built that life with your own language. Your world is responding to your words, even when you're not paying attention to what you're saying. That's why you've got to speak on purpose. You've got to treat your words like seeds. No farmer throws seeds into the ground and walks away hoping for chaos. He plants with precision because he expects a harvest. Your life will grow whatever you consistently plant. If you want a harvest of success, plant words of success. If you want peace, speak peace. If you want breakthrough, declare breakthrough. Stop rehearsing your limitations and start releasing your vision. It doesn't matter what it looks like right now. Your words are not for where you are, they're for where you're going. Speak what's coming. Speak what's true in heaven, even if it's not visible on earth yet. And here's the secret, your reality will begin to shift to match the atmosphere your words create. That's why you can't afford idle speech. That's why sarcasm, self-deprecation, and negativity are so dangerous. They may sound harmless, but they are creative commands. You might think you're joking, but your spirit doesn't know the difference between sarcasm and prophecy. Speak life. Speak abundance, speak power, speak wisdom, speak strength. Speak like someone who understands that every word you say is a brick in the world you're building. Speak with intention, because your words are not just sounds, they're strategies. And if you don't like the world you're living in, don't just change your actions, change your language. Because words don't just describe reality, words create it. Your mouth is a multiplier. It doesn't just echo what is, it amplifies it. What you speak out of your mouth doesn't just reflect your current state, it intensifies it, magnifies it, and sends it forward into your future. If you speak defeat, defeat will multiply. If you speak power, power will increase. Whatever comes out of your mouth doesn't stay at the level you released it. It grows, it expands, and it begins to shape every part of your life. The words you release are like seeds thrown into the soil of your life. But here's what most people miss. Your mouth is not just a sower, it's a multiplier. That means it doesn't just plant one seed and produce one result. It plants one seed and produces many results. One negative statement can trigger a week of procrastination, fear, and low energy. One declaration of confidence can spark a breakthrough in action, mindset, and opportunity. That's why you have to guard your mouth like it's a vault of destiny, because it is. Look at the people who constantly complain. Their problems don't get smaller, they get bigger. Why? Because their mouth keeps multiplying the problem. Now look at the people who speak victory even in the middle of chaos. They don't deny the reality. They declare authority over it, and somehow solutions show up, peace floods in, and they move forward. That's not magic, that's multiplication in motion. You don't need more hustle, you need more alignment. And alignment begins with your mouth. Your words set the tone, the temperature, and the trajectory. Your mouth determines whether your momentum multiplies or dies. That's why some people work twice as hard and get half the results, because their mouth is working against them, not for them. They grind with their hands, but curse the harvest with their words. Stop saying things like, I'm always behind, I'm terrible at this, or it's never enough. You're multiplying lack. You're multiplying anxiety. Instead say, I'm getting sharper every day. I'm learning fast. Everything I touch increases. You're not just talking, you're triggering a cycle of multiplication. Heaven responds. Your mind responds. Even people around you begin to respond. Why? Because your mouth shifts the energy in the room. It either multiplies confusion or multiplies clarity. You want more money? Start speaking like someone who manages wealth. You want stronger relationships? Start speaking like someone who's emotionally whole. You want health? Start speaking life over your body. Don't wait until the fruit shows up. Start multiplying the root through your words. Speak from the vision, not the condition. Because your mouth doesn't just comment on life, it commands it. It doesn't just echo the facts, it multiplies the future. And once you understand that, you'll never waste another word. Identity is revealed through repetition. Who you believe you are isn't built in a single moment. It's built through the words, thoughts, and declarations you repeat over and over again. Repetition isn't just about memorization, it's about transformation. The more you say something, the more it sinks into your subconscious, and the more your subconscious starts building a life around that truth or that lie. You don't need a new identity. You need to uncover the one that's already inside you. And the way you do that is through consistent, intentional repetition. That's why what you say to yourself daily matters, because every repetition is a reminder. Every repetition is a rehearsal. You are rehearsing the person you are becoming. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or intelligence. They fail because they keep rehearsing a false identity. They keep saying things like, I'm not disciplined, I never follow through, I'm just not that kind of person. And those words become cement, not because they're true, but because they're repeated. And if you say something long enough, it becomes part of your self-image, and your self-image determines your behavior. You don't act out of motivation, you act out of identity. If you see yourself as inconsistent, you'll sabotage every opportunity that requires consistency. If you see yourself as broke, you'll repel wealth even when it's offered. But if you begin to declare, I am focused, I am a finisher, I am built for overflow, and you say it daily with authority, your mind will begin to accept it as fact, and once your mind believes it, your actions will follow. Repetition is how champions are made. It's how confidence is built. It's how new mental pathways are formed. It's how the old self dies and the new self rises. But it's not just repetition for repetition's sake. It's intentional repetition. You don't just want to repeat anything. You want to repeat what aligns with your vision, with your purpose, with your calling. That's why affirmations work when they're done with focus and emotion, because they're not just words. They're mirrors reflecting your higher self until you recognize who you really are. You can't say it once and expect change. You've got to saturate your environment with it. Say it in the morning. Say it in the car. Say it when you don't feel like it. Say it until your voice doesn't shake. Say it until your habits catch up. Say it until other people start calling you by the name you've been declaring over yourself. And when they do, don't act surprised. You didn't just get lucky. You programmed that reality through repetition. The old version of you was built by accident. The new you must be built on purpose. And repetition is your greatest tool. You are not just what you think, you are what you repeat. So speak wisely, declare boldly, and repeat relentlessly. Because every word you consistently speak is a brick in the identity you are building. Faith comes by hearing even your own voice. What you hear over and over again shapes what you believe, and what you believe shapes what you become. Most people wait to hear encouragement from someone else, a mentor, a coach, a friend. But the most powerful voice in your life is the one that comes out of your own mouth. When you speak life and you hear it, something begins to activate inside of you. Your own voice carries the most authority in your mind because it's the one you trust without question, even when it's telling lies. That's why if you constantly hear yourself say, I'm not ready, this is too hard, I always mess this up, your faith in failure grows stronger. You start believing in defeat the same way you should be believing in destiny. But if you flip the script and begin to speak truth, I am capable, I am chosen for this, I walk in divine favor, your spirit starts catching up with your sound. You're not just building belief, you're building certainty. And certainty is what produces unstoppable action. Hearing something once might inspire you, but hearing it consistently is what rewires you. When your own voice becomes a soundtrack of strength, you don't wait to feel confident. You begin to operate in faith, even when fear is present. You might not have the evidence yet, but you've got the echo. And that echo is powerful. It tells your mind, we've been here before. We've heard this before. We know how this ends. Some people think faith is about ignoring reality. It's not. Faith is about overriding reality with truth. And the fastest way to build faith is to speak it and hear it on repeat. Not waiting for someone else to validate you. Not waiting for the conditions to be perfect. You start creating your future with your voice before your circumstances catch up. The more you hear yourself speak like a leader, the more you believe you are one. The more you hear yourself declare abundance, the more you expect it, and expectation draws opportunity. This is why silence can be so dangerous when your mind is under attack. If you're not actively speaking truth, the enemy will speak lies by default. You've got to open your mouth and disrupt the doubt. Don't think your way out, speak your way out. Your voice isn't just noise, it's a weapon. And when you wield it with faith, it cuts through fear, confusion, and hesitation. So if you want more faith, start talking, not just reading affirmations, declaring them. Not whispering weak thoughts, proclaiming bold truths. Let your own ears hear the sound of your future being spoken right now. Say it when you're tired. Say it when you're doubting. Say it when you feel like giving up. Say it until what once sounded impossible begins to sound normal. Because faith doesn't just come by hearing other people. Faith comes by hearing your own voice speak what God already said about you. And when that becomes your dominant sound, you'll start moving like someone who knows who they are and where they're going. Emotion follows language. You don't need to feel powerful to speak powerfully. You need to speak powerfully until you feel powerful. Most people wait for the emotion before they act. They wait to feel motivated before they speak life. They wait to feel confident before they take action. But that's backwards. Emotion is a follower. Language is the leader. What you say creates the emotional state you step into. Your brain responds to language faster than it responds to circumstances. If you say this is hard, your body begins to feel resistance. If you say this is an opportunity, your energy shifts. That shift isn't magic, it's neurological. Your language literally instructs your nervous system on how to respond. That's why successful people talk differently, not because they're faking it, but because they understand that how they talk determines how they feel, and how they feel determines how they perform. Try walking into a challenge saying, I don't think I can handle this, and watch how fast your emotions shrink. Now try saying, I was built for this, and see how quickly your posture changes, your breathing changes, your energy rises. That's because your words are the thermostat of your soul. They set the temperature. They don't just reflect how you feel, they create how you feel. Think of your language like a steering wheel. If you want to go in a new direction emotionally, don't wait, turn the wheel. Start speaking life, start declaring truth. Start using words that align with where you want to go, not where you are. Don't let your mouth confirm your mood, let your mouth lead your mood. This is especially powerful when you're in a dark place, when you're tired, when you're discouraged. That's when your words matter most. That's when you have to speak what you need, not what you feel. Because if you let your feelings pick your language, they'll trap you. But if you let your language shift your feelings, they'll follow you into the breakthrough. You don't have to pretend everything is perfect. You just have to refuse to give your emotions the final word. Start saying things like, I'm rising, I'm focused, I'm overcoming, even if your body hasn't caught up yet. Speak it anyway. Because emotion isn't the source of transformation, it's the byproduct. You talk your way into clarity. You talk your way into courage. You talk your way into belief. So if your energy is low, check your language. If your confidence is weak, check your language. If your passion is missing, check your language. Your words are the switch. Flip it. Don't wait to feel it. Speak until you become it, because emotion doesn't lead your destiny, your language does. Discipline is the gateway to dominion. Everybody wants the crown, but few are willing to carry the cross of consistency. Dominion doesn't come by chance. It comes by choice, and that choice is made daily through discipline. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's the bridge between vision and manifestation. Without discipline, dreams remain fantasy. With discipline, they become reality. Discipline is proof that you're serious. You don't need to tell people what you're building. Your habits will show them. Discipline is the quiet work that produces loud results. It's doing what needs to be done long after the emotion of motivation has left the room. It's waking up early when it would be easier to sleep. It's studying when others are scrolling. It's sticking to the plan when distractions scream for your attention. Discipline is the difference maker between those who wish and those who walk in authority. You don't drift into dominion, you decide your way into it. Dominion over your finances, your time, your body, your business, none of it happens by default. It is the reward of a disciplined mind, a trained mouth, and a focused life. Every time you say no to what weakens you and yes to what strengthens you, you're not just building discipline, you're expanding your capacity for dominion. Every rep, every routine, every righteous choice becomes a vote for the person you are becoming. The problem is most people want the result without the repetition. They want the breakthrough without the burden. But discipline is the burden that produces the blessing. You can't rule what you refuse to master. You can't lead what you don't first learn to follow through on. And until you dominate yourself, you'll never dominate anything else. Discipline is self-leadership at the highest level. It's telling your body, your mind, your emotions, we don't do what we feel, we do what we decided. And the beauty of discipline is that it compounds. What starts as a struggle eventually becomes second nature. Your standards rise, your vision sharpens, your authority increases, and people start to wonder how you do it. The answer is simple. You decided to live by principle, not by pressure. You stopped negotiating with mediocrity. You stopped giving your feelings the steering wheel. You locked in, you showed up, you trained your appetite, you prioritized your purpose, and now what once felt impossible is now your normal. That's dominion. Not just influence, but internal governance. Not just success, but sustained stewardship. Not just a moment of glory, but a life of impact. And it all starts with discipline. You don't have to be the most talented, you don't have to be the most connected, but if you are the most disciplined, you will rise, you will reign, you will occupy the territory that others forfeited because they lacked the consistency to hold it. So don't resent discipline, embrace it. It's not punishment, it's preparation. It's not restriction, it's release. It is the training ground for the kind of dominion you've been praying for. You're not waiting on God. He's waiting on your discipline to match your destiny. Because when your habits catch up with your calling, nothing can stop you. Discipline is the gateway, and dominion is on the other side. For the next 21 days, talk to yourself like your life depends on it, because it does. Speak with intention, speak with vision, speak with faith. Words create worlds, and your mouth is a multiplier. Every time you open it, you are either designing destiny or reinforcing dysfunction. Your identity is revealed through repetition, so repeat power, not pity. Repeat purpose, not problem. Let your voice be the loudest one in the room, because faith doesn't just come by hearing others. It comes by hearing you declare who you are and where you're going. Emotion will follow your language, so speak the state you want to live in. Don't wait to feel motivated. Let your words move you. Let them light the fire. And above all, remember that discipline is the gateway to dominion. If you want to rule in any area of your life, you must first rule yourself. That means showing up, locking in, and repeating truth until your life reflects it. This isn't about hype, it's about habit. For 21 days, you're not just talking, you're training, you're rewiring your mind, reshaping your identity, and reclaiming your power. So speak boldly, speak daily, and speak like someone who knows the power they carry. Because when you talk to yourself like that for 21 days, you won't just change what you say, you'll change what you see. And once your vision shifts, your life will never be the same.